Hi there, this is Lauren Gordon, Customer Success Manager here in Houston, and this brief demo is going to show you MindTap for our Kennedy, the Brief American Pageant textbook, as well as how the MindTap integrates with Blackboard. So right now I'm in my Blackboard course here that I've created, and I've created a couple folders here with the MindTap resources in them. And so you can create just one link to the MindTap course, which will offer your students one single login. All they have to do is have their Blackboard username and password to access MindTap after the initial registration. And then you can also choose to go even further and link to specific assignments. And then also, if you choose to do so, you can have the grades from those specific assignments from MindTap automatically flow to your Blackboard gradebook. So my first folder here, I just have one course link here that will link out to MindTap, as well as some other resources that are helpful for the students, such as how to register your MindTap access code and the tech support link. And then I also have another folder, and you can set it up different ways. If you want to have week folders or module folders, you can organize it that way. But I just have one folder with MindTap assignments, and here is where I can link to the specific assignments from MindTap, and then select to have the grades from these assignments automatically flow into my Blackboard gradebook here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into MindTap from my course link here, and this is exactly how you and your students would be accessing MindTap from within your Blackboard course. So it's going to open the main page for MindTap. And I will point out that I am in my instructor account right now, but the student account looks almost the exact same, and the only difference is that you're able to add items as well as customize items and edit items. So this first view we're in right here is this calendar view. And from this view, the students are easily able to see exactly what is coming due week by week. And these weeks are populated as soon as you come in here and set due dates to these items and activities. You as the instructor are probably going to be working from the other two views, which is our unit view, our chapter view, and the date manager view, where you can go in and set availability dates and due dates to all the specific items within the MindTap platform. So this is set up very similarly to the textbook with some additional folders here. This first folder actually is really great. We know that with U.S. history, with any history course, students struggle with being able to analyze maps and think critically, as well as writing essays. And so what we've done here is built in some tutorials for the student based on those things that they struggle the most with, that they can come in here and do, and then you can take a grade for these specific assignments, so that this kind of introduces as a whole kind of what skills they need that are necessary for U.S. history and to be successful in this course. We've also added some research and writing tutorials in here as well. And so now we have our different parts of the textbook, and this is set up just like the textbook. It goes chapter by chapter, and each one of these chapters are set up with the same resources within them. So for instance, if I go into chapter 4 here, I have the first activity that I have is the setting the scene video, and this is going to be a very quick little video for the students to watch, which is going to introduce the content that they're about to be covering within this chapter. The next part is going to be the learning objectives and the chapter introduction. And then we have the readings broken out into each section. And within each section, there's also an activity and assessment that follows them. So this kind of breaks it down for the students to be able to chunk out what they need to be reading and focus on it. And then we have a test, a reflection activity, and then the chapter summary. So I'm going to go into this first section here. Actually, I'll go into section 4.4. So you can see that I have the readings here, and clearly there's also the due date that exists within here so the students can see exactly when they need to be doing this reading or assignment. So let me go into our interactive ebook here. So first of all, this ebook is fully ADA compliant. And it's very interactive for the students. They can increase the text size, they can bookmark pages, they can print out pages. One thing that's unique to your instructor ebook is this pencil icon, and that actually allows you to customize and edit the ebook yourself. So if I hit that, it allows me to add items and activities directly into the ebook. For instance, this is a YouTube video that I have actually added where it's relevant here in the ebook content this is a TED Talk on the Atlantic slave trade. And what's really great about this is I pulled this from YouTube. However, when I press play, it actually stays within the platform. It doesn't link out to the window. So it keeps
Slavery, the treatment of human beings as property, deprived of personal rights, has occurred in many forms.
But you can also add primary sources in here or a quiz or anything else you'd want to add directly into the ebook here. One other thing that the students and you can do is you can highlight in here and take notes. So the students have these 4 different colors to choose from to highlight the text. And then additionally, you see here this orange highlight, and that's actually just in the instructor ebook, and that allows you to highlight items in the ebook and push that out to your classes, your students' ebook. So anything they see in orange, they know comes from their instructor because they do not have that color. And the same thing for adding notes. So the students can add their own notes, and then additionally, you can add your own notes or you can choose to share your notes. So you want to study for exam or there's something you want them to pay particular attention to, you can add that in there and share it with the students. And what's really great about all of this is that it's keeping track of all these highlights and notes I'm taking. So from a student perspective, over here in our Study Hub app, it's actually saving the notes and highlights that they take as well as the notes and highlights that the instructor has taken. And so it saves them all in here and they can print them out. And then it also offers a hyperlink that will take them directly back into the ebook where that note was taken. From the Study Hub app, they can also create their own study guides, and they can choose to include your highlights and your notes within those study guides as well. Another great feature within the ebook here is this read speaker. So the students can actually have the entire book read out loud to them, and they can actually control the speed at which it's read and the voice. If they like a female or a male voice, they can control all of that. So that's great for not only ADA compliance, but just students that learn differently or more auditory learners. Another great thing is that all of our key terms are already in here with hyperlinked blue so that they can see the definitions. However, they can also highlight any word in here and look it up in the dictionary. So again, this is keeping them in the platform and they're able to see the exact definition of certain words that they may not know. So after the ebook, there is an assessment here, just a quick little check to make sure that they have A, actually done the reading, and B, that they conceptually understood what they just read. So it's a quick little auto-graded quiz in here to just make sure that they understood and processed the information that they read. We'll close those sections. So then we have our Test Yourself assignment. And this is also an auto-graded assignment. Each chapter has one of these. And there's usually at least a primary source activity as well as a map activity in there. And with these activities, they're going to be more critical thinking type activities. Each of these they're not always going to be multiple choice. They may be fill in the blank or select all that apply. And the students will go through and answer it. And they also have the ability to have 3 attempts for this same question. So for instance, if I hit grade it now, it's going to immediately give me a score. It's going to give me a little bit of feedback, so an explanation. And then that button turned into try another version. And so what this is going to do is it's going to be the same concept, but the questions and answers here are going to change. And that varies by student and by attempt. And so they have the ability to come in and try it again. And they have up to 3 attempts to do this for each question. And then you as the instructor can choose to have it take an average of those attempts or to take the highest of those attempts. The next activity is going to be a reflection activity, and this is going to be more of a short answer or essay type activity that would require some instructor manual grading here, but it's a great way to, again, get the students to think more critically about what they're studying. Another great resource for the students are that we have flashcards already built out for each key term, but also they can actually create their own flashcards as well. And they can print these out, they can hide cards, shuffle the deck. So these are a really great study tool for the students to learn those key concepts, and which we, of course, know is going to build a baseline for them to be able to do some of these higher level thinking, critical thinking type activities that exist within here. At the end of each unit, there are these unit activities, which has additional type activities that you can pull in. So this is an essay activity as well as some primary source activity. And what's really great about the MindTap is that you can kind of customize and pick and choose exactly what resources in here you want to use. And you can simply just hide the ones that you don't want them to do, or you can even hide entire units as well. You can also edit the order that these chapters are taught in and change the title of all these. You can pretty much customize at any level you need to in here. We also have, there are primary source activities built into here, but if you have specific ones you want to pull in, you can actually do that, and there's 2 ways that you can do that. We have our resource center here, and through our resource center, we are able to filter and search primary sources here. So you can see I have some different topics to choose from. And then I can preview these, or I can simply just add them directly into the MindTap course. And also, we have our Questia app in here, which is a giant research database. So the students can use this as a research tool, but additionally, you can use it to pull in readings and primary and secondary sources. So you can search different topics here, and it will pull up all the resources that exist within here for that specific topic. You can add additional keywords. You can filter just by primary sources. So you can see just by searching American Revolution, there's 44,000 full textbooks in here and 7,000 academic journals. So there's a lot of information here that your students can use as a research guide, or that you can use to actually, again, pull in different sources and readings for your students to make your course interesting and make it match exactly how you like to teach. We also have this additional course resources here that's kind of made it easily accessed for you to access all the videos, images, maps that exist, as well as different activities that you can do within class. So again, another great resource for you as the instructor. So that is basically a brief little video of our Mind Tap for the Kennedy textbook. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.